So be it. Acceptance of meeting minutes. Here. Can I get a motion on the minute?
Move to accept.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Treasurer's report.
Good morning.
Now you settle down.
Glad we have treasure.
All right. So we have a regular month kind of on the low end of the general fund, 27,496 expended. We are anticipating, we only have a month and a half left in the year. This covers the 10-month period ending. So we're 76% expended for a 10-month period, which is about 83% of the year. We will end up at the end of the year with a pretty significant underspent budget. And that makes sense because we did not have a director's position filled for the first 3 months of the year. We have not had this position filled since February, June. So
On the payroll side.
so it's on the payroll side primarily, but we are, we are funded as a member. So typically, we would have put into the formula grant. She does have a line item, so we're continuing to pay her out of the line item in the general fund. Because we have this excess amount, so things like, that is going into a negative. There's a couple of other things that are going into a negative, but clearly we are overall, below our budget.
And what happens in July? Do we lose that money?
Yes,
Okay,
that's the one fund we don't count.
Yeah. okay.
Everything else we count. Under grants, that 16,185 represents the second and final payment on the 24 formula grant. So we're paid in full on that. And our fund balance at the end of the day in the formula grant at this point is $74,620. The 61,305 fund balance represents, that's just offset by that pergola grant, the state grant that we still haven't received, 12,500 that we're expecting. We've called, I know there's been some back and forth between Chris Senior and the signature on the grant, but hopefully that will be resolved quickly. But so that's sitting there as a negative 13,315 for the net 60. In the revolving fund, we're showing a positive $7,876. Receipts exceeding expenses. Receipts look low this month at 4,162, and that's because actually the credit card receipts didn't get processed in the reports that I received dated April 30th, but I did see them come in May. So they're going to flow through in May, even though they're dated April at this point. But there was about 2,300 that came in credit cards. So that credit card system appears to be working quite well.
So it's just a late reporting.
Correct, submission of the receipts, yes. But then treasury, so every month reports all different numbers, which is kind of crazy. Nothing really big, but there's always an explanation. It depends on who's posting and when they post. There's not a clean cutoff ever. It's just timing, absolutely. Gift donations, Social Playhouse, donated 2,500 this month. It was great. The expenditures 2,920 primarily represent payroll, social worker. We had no activity, reported activity in the capital project. Well, of course, we're having quite a bit of activity on the construction panel thing, so we'll see that coming through, I'm sure. Any questions or?
So on the general ledger, we have our payroll expenses.
Mhm.
We have our payroll expenses. Where are we operating expenses? Even
No, operating, we are, not all are over budget, just. Oh, I don't have a thought. You know, we have. Reports of all different, some typically in some different way. We've got one. Versus. Two. No, we're probably about, we're a little bit under budget, but not by a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
On the way that we're going,
Okay.
at the end of the year,
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna be over budget in those expenses.
So what do you think?
I think at the end of the year,
2%?
we'll be about 2,400 is where I project will
Oh,
be
this, okay.
minor. But remember, yeah, but the operating budget is minor in and of itself.
Oh, I know, I'm just want to make sure that when we submit a budget, that we're actually submitting money we need.
Oh,
This-
absolutely,
With this last budget, we kind of took a guess at, right? So that gets approved on town meeting tonight.
right.
So I just want to make sure that it's, I think we increased it by 2 or 3% or
No,
something.
we actually, it did come through after that meeting.
Okay,
Chris approved $20,000 towards the social work. So that was a huge, because you know how long we've been asking for payroll increases.
yeah, yeah.
So for next year, we have
Yay.
a kitchen coordinator, we have a social worker, 20 grand, it's gonna be quite a bit. So. And
We have
everybody,
one formula as well, so.
we have that 76,000 now in the formula, but we'll be paying out of formula grant for maybe 15, that's how Meg was looking at it. Social worker, she thought might be 35 in total, with 20 on the line item, and maybe 15 will use out of the formula grant. And I think kitchen coordinator is also going to exceed the line item by maybe 5, maybe 10 tops. So we're,
Maybe 20,000, 25 out of the 20.
yeah. So there's quite a bit of funding there that we, and also Meg was looking at, it was another position.
And that doesn't include the formula grant we're getting this year, that's 26.
That is, no, for 25, for 26,
Right.
25, 26. And it's the same number, 732.
She's looking for a second front desk person.
That's right, that's the person who actually next month, maybe we should, because I thought we hired somebody.
We hired one.
That's what
She's in training, she's here,
sure.
but I think the thought is that it's an important position in that they greet people, they're there, and the afternoon needs to be taken care of, so
Right,
she's going for it.
good. And that will be paid out of funding,
Out of formula,
both
right?
of those
Yes.
positions.
Do you know if we increased the hours for Joan?
No,
We have, okay,
and I don't think she wants more.
okay.
Is it at 19?
19.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to stay under 19 for
Oh, benefits, yeah.
Pensions.
Okay, so good shape?
Yeah, we're under.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
tonight.
Well, only if you think that you wasted an opportunity, if you needed something and you didn't spend the money and then it's, does it set a precedent that, well, they don't need like all this time. You don't really need that much, so we're not gonna give you that much.
I know, yeah, that's what I'm saying, so
Use
there's
it or
nothing,
lose it.
so there's
Exactly.
nothing that we need to use it for before.
Oh, I'm sure everything we need to use it. Maggie's really good at keeping on top of it and making sure that it's being expended. And as I say, many accounts are particularly like in the congregate meals, we're using that all up before we,
Yeah.
you know, it's a hard, what do you put in?
Yeah, usually,
revolving, what do you
usually
put
in June,
congregate?
if there's money left over, the director tries to encumber it.
Order stuff.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Right.
Save some money. That's
I think you
Usually not a whole
maybe
lot.
vacation.
No, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, like 2 to 10 grand or something at the most ever.
Yeah, it's usually in payment. We'll use up all the operating expenses for sure.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, can I get motions on the treasurer's report?
Okay.
Second,
Seconds?
all those in favor? Opposed? Okay, Treasurer. Okay, director's report. Meg is out for personal reasons for another week or so. Megan James has taken over for anything administrative that we need. But like I said, we expect Meg back in a week or so. Let's see, well, she did, there is a slight report here. Now, I thought Joan was making all the desserts for lunches.
Yeah.
They're pretty good, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised it's in her notes though.
That's relatively.
It's new.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she's been doing it all along. Those are terrific, boy.
It's a welcome development.
Well, I tell you, I came last week to one, and I was amazed that 40 people were able to get in there with the HVAC stuff going.
Yeah.
And many people were concerned about the ceiling falling on them and everything else. Once the food arrived, nobody complained. Next Monday night, we've got the Battle of the Boards, which is bocce at the rec, not bocce, cornhole at the rec center. And what Megan James is trying to do is she's trying to get the representatives for all the boards for elder affairs, recreation,
Library.
library, yeah, very much the library. And there's a fourth one.
Oh, Safe Harbor.
Safe harbor, okay. She's asked me to be the master of ceremonies for that, so I have a little experience in that area. Now, I'm trying to find out from her whether I told her, I said, we've got a 12-member board. I don't know that the others have that many people. And, what are you looking for? And I haven't gotten an answer yet. So, I know we have a couple of cornhole players on the board. It's not a difficult game to learn at all. David can learn it.
So how hard would it be?
Yeah, right. Anyway, so I don't know if anybody's interested in coming next Monday night. It's at the rec center. It's at 5:30 to 7. She's gonna have some sort of snacks involved as well.
It's gonna be like 4 games going on and then,
It could be more. I mean, we could have a total of 6 games going at once.
and then it's like the basketball, right? You get down to,
No, we don't, we're just gonna play for a certain amount of time.
oh, okay.
Probably for an hour and then total up the scores and I don't know if she's gonna have any presents or
So
anything.
there was no money in the budget for a trophy.
It's not our budget. It's not our budget, but we'll take advantage of human
Yeah.
services.
Well, feeling rich.
Yeah,
What's in the gift account?
Yeah, new Tesla in the park.
but we'll keep quiet about all of that stuff. So, Megan James, like I say, is putting this together. She's all excited, but she's overwhelmed. She doesn't know what she's doing, and she admits that. And I don't know how many people, if we have a 12-member board, and I don't know how big the other boards are, I can't imagine they're that big. But that means there's gonna be a lot of people not playing cornhole. So I think it's a social event where she's trying to get the boards to know each other and become some sort of anticipation of working together on some things.
So this came out of our meeting, with myself and Megan James, along with, the other people who interviewed for the new director. After we interviewed all the 3 candidates, she brought up, the disconnect with elder affairs and some of the other boards.
I told her, I said, I don't know anybody on any other boards.
Yeah, I said, we should do a, bocce game or, some social event where people over there, they come over here, kind of thing. So we had talked about doing this back in almost a year ago, right? So August, September timeframe. This really is, like you said, for socialization, but you have to meet the other boards, find out what they do and, how come we can't do this or how come we can do that, kind of thing. So there's always more scuttlebutt than there is fact usually.
Well, that's good,
So, yeah,
that's good.
so it'd be nice to meet the other members.
Yeah.
Well, I think the library has 5 board members. And
We can beat
the rec has 5, I think.
All right,
too.
good, all right, we're already headed to the game.
Safe Harbor probably isn't, it's maybe bigger than that, but,
She was saying something about the library trustee, I don't know if that's.
well, that's
same
the
thing.
trustees. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, that's who runs the library. It's 5.
Right, don't they have 2? They have trustees and they have a board.
Oh, do they? Okay, maybe.
Oh, She was saying trustees, so maybe their board is.
So maybe just trustees.
Because they're elected and I guess.
Does Safe Harbor have some official town designation? They're not,
Sort of seems like it's getting to be more that way.
Yeah.
Like they have a board, but I don't think it's even
they're
appointed.
not a town organization.
No, it's just a nonprofit, yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
out of social services, yeah.
But, yeah, yes, that's where, from whence it came, and then there's a huge grant that is perpetual, well,
They do get
as
funding
perpetual
from
as it can be.
the state, I believe.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Well,
Well, maybe you should just figure out who can go.
Who was
Well, I
interested?
already volunteered to be there.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good.
that's on Monday night, right?
Monday night at 5:30.
19th, okay. yeah.
Me too.
yeah.
Oh, good, good,
Yeah,
good.
you got a winning team.
Like I said, I don't know how much shooting there'll be. And
Is there an alcohol budget?
apparently not.
See, that's what you're missing. That's where the empty hole is.
Yeah. So, and she knows that the Elder Affairs cornhole team is quite aggressive, so I don't know how we're gonna end up doing that, so.
Maybe that's why there's no alcohol.
Well, the thing is, when we had our little tournament a couple of weeks ago with the high school kids, and that worked out very well, by the way. I mean, very exciting. Everybody had a great time. And we had 6 boards
And we
going
beat
that
them
night.
for the third
Pardon me?
straight, and we beat them
For
for
the
the third
third
straight year.
So if
Great
we,
place, David. That's
if we start to get a little elderly in our age, we may not have a fourth, but so far
Yeah.
we're three for three. One of the things that came out of that though was, Megan had pizza and everything set up. Not enough pizza. I think we should get more next time. But the kids were very energetic. I was surprised. I thought they felt like they were being put upon to come and play with a bunch of old folks. But they really enjoyed it, I think. And they.
They wanted to win, but they didn't.
Like I said, we're pretty aggressive. I told-
It was a life lesson.
That'll bring it back next year.
Yeah, there was always a lot of trash talk going on between
Life is full of
generations.
disappointment. Get used to it, kid.
Anyway, so next Monday at the rec center, 5:30, I hope everybody who can will arrive and socialize with the other boards. Okay, Liza, of course, had a retirement party. That was pretty well attended.
That was.
Yep.
That was very nice.
Very nice.
And we had a St. Pat's Day luncheon. I don't know what this is about. The Cohasset Care is getting more involved. Are you involved with that, Pam?
Well, from the social services point of view, we fund it, yes.
Anything new?
You think? Nothing really new, except we did discuss at our last meeting that we'd like it a little better advertised, and I don't know that Chris Ford wants it advertised. I think his feeling, this is hearsay, that it should go by word of mouth, but and it's true, I've had calls and somebody this week and this kind of thing that, and I know somebody who just talking its praises like crazy. Had used them and couldn't get over how helpful they've been.
But he's gonna come and speak in our church.
At some
Because he
point.
wants to
Yeah,
write the words,
yeah.
so it's not like-
We used to have postcards for classic. So we could-
There was a split between elder affairs and.
But it was in the last,
Yes, yes.
newsletter.
Yeah.
This little,
Yes.
and also this.
So we are trying
Oh, that sign on 3A, that really hit me like a
Yeah.
ton of bricks, but it's, yeah. It's there. I don't know where it came from. I mean, it just all of a sudden it was there.
Yeah.
And I saw it.
Is it through the fire department?
Yes,
Yeah.
run through the fire. Apple Ford is.
Most of the referrals come from here.
Yes.
And it was interesting. So now, yeah. Get back to you. Great. See what happens.
Yeah, that's a more social work.
Well, people, that's where they're supposed to call. And there are other things that they can refer them to if they call here, like how to get outside help and all this kind of into your house. So it really should be funneling through one source.
Well, I just got a message from Megan James. She does want as many as can come to the thing, next Monday. So, again, whether you want to shoot or not, or socialize and have non-drinks. You can bring your own, by the way.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Give a little coffee.
Oh, yeah, Jim has dementia. He didn't understand.
This is my medicine.
All right.
Anyone knows what a flask is these days anyway.
Maybe not.
I do.
With Megan being out for a week or so, does anybody have anything they need done here? That you don't think is getting handled? Because
Is
Megan
she-
James
Is she okay?
it's personal. I don't know
okay.
the details.
Sorry, if she's
Is
sick.
this the time to talk about what's going on with the building, about what we can expect? As far
You
as,
mean if we'll get air conditioning?
well, I mean,
You want to do the lead?
I'm thinking about the Thursday night dinner, and is this dining room still gonna be torn apart? There's,
Yeah, see, they were supposed to finish
Right,
last week.
I
That's
know.
why we closed.
right, does anyone have any information about, no?
So we can ask Megan James.
Geez, that's a good point. Now, we had the luncheon there last week,
Yeah, well, lunch
Yeah,
is
they need
different.
that's,
but I mean, we're opening up the whole room for the community dinner.
You want this.
Yeah.
Thursday night. You know,
Well, and even if it's not done for the tile, just keep put back temporarily or something, just to cover it up, so.
Well, they got the hoses hanging, those.
Yeah, but you can sort of squeeze them to the side.
well, smarter move would say, why aren't you done?
Well, yeah, that was my concern when I found out Wednesday that the place was still torn apart.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we've got a dinner.
And I complained because I was here and it was 2:30 in the afternoon, they were all gone.
Yeah,
And I said, what the hell is going on? They said,
I thought they were gonna
they
work.
come at 4 in the morning. So being out of here at 2:30 is not a
The
big deal.
story we were told was if we close for that Monday and Tuesday,
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah.
weekend, that would
Yeah.
button
Yeah.
everything
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
so this is significant.
But you know, I came down on the weekend, there wasn't a soul there.
Yeah, well. It doesn't surprise me, Diana,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So Jim, I know that Liza, I had a conversation with Meg. Liza normally set the room up for the dinners. So with Liza's absence. Is
Well, I
there,
have already contacted Mary Kay and she has volunteered to be our Eliza for this. thing.
oh, okay,
So that, the job is kind of covered.
good, okay,
Yeah, and I spoke to Katie about, seats and money.
okay. So,
We have the people, I'm just concerned about the place.
Yeah.
Well, who's volunteering to serve, and everything else?
yeah.
I'm in.
We have
Oh,
plenty of
geez, we got a
people.
lot of people.
Well,
yeah.
I can't serve, but I volunteer to do other things that you set up, and I just didn't know, are we setting up Wednesday, or are we setting up Thursday morning?
Probably Thursday.
Well, Katie told me she notified facilities there, and I told her typically we did it, people who volunteer,
Yeah.
but she said facilities has offered to come in
To
and
do
set up a
what?
table.
Set up the
Good.
table.
On
Okay.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I thought they always did.
No,
No,
it's
that
always-
Richie, it was
And
Richie.
that's not such a big deal. I mean, those tables are easy to roll out, so it's not.
Well, are you running the show then for the community dinner? Are you the
I'm a mere participant. I am cooking with Joan, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not in charge.
Katie's
What time
running
do
the
you
show.
want, what time do you want everybody? Few people, or how do you want to
Usually
lay it
like
out?
4:30 is plenty of time,
Okay,
because the dinner's at 5.
So you need to set up a.
We need to be ready, yeah, so I'll set up by 4:30.
okay.
I will talk to Katie about what programs might be a problem if we start at any given time, so I'll coordinate how all that can happen.
Okay, good. And then have her notify
Yeah.
everybody. She's very good, by the way. She's
She is.
really picking up the
Oh,
job.
She's doing
quickly.
banging stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has anybody heard complaints about, the pay as you go for programs now?
No, quite the opposite. I've heard people like the way that that's
Okay.
working.
Yeah. Have people gotten a bill for?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And they've got a
You didn't
bill
get a
that
bill
says
this
zero.
Yeah.
I got a 0 bill, but I'm starting to.
it would have been, yeah.
Well, I heard.
So did a statement go out to everybody who's in the system?
I
That's what I
thought
got
so.
Right.
No, I received one.
Yeah, my wife has, and she pays cash anyway, but she got a zero balance.
Exactly, that's what I
Yeah.
got.
I
But,
got one
so I'm
too.
surprised, I thought it went to
I
everyone.
didn't get anything.
But I have been charging
Check with Katie.
Yeah.
a lot this time, so I will get a real
So
bill.
do you work off an account? You have money in an account that you
No.
work against? No, how do you do it?
I don't know yet. I haven't. This is the first time.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
actually
yeah.
Getting a bill from being
I
charged.
see, yeah.
I'll do it whatever way.
Yeah.
people want me to do
David,
it.
did you get a bill?
Well, I got one early, the first one,
Yeah.
but it was zero because I
Yeah.
hadn't charged
But
anything.
you haven't gotten a bill for April?
I haven't
yet?
gotten an actual bill.
They were piled up on Friday. I
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're in, coming
Process.
soon,
They should be, yeah.
right.
They were
Now, are you
sorted.
gonna monitor any of that from a treasury point of view?
That's what she said in her report. She hasn't seen some of the collections from it yet.
Oh,
Right,
from that?
yeah,
Okay.
well, we'll see the cash come in, that the town posts, but monitoring, no, I've been involved a little bit with some of the processing and, but no, I mean, Katie's, they're doing great, they're just grabbing it and going with it. I can't
Okay.
believe they did it and it went as smoothly as it did
Mhm.
first month, and I'm really curious to see what happens this
Yeah.
month, because I set up a wallet and there will be training. But I think they're just trying to get through the first couple of months.
Yeah,
But there's this wallet which we
Mhm, you
can,
can
you know,
put
put
money
money into, and I'm thinking, will they automatically? So I'm waiting to see how that's all gonna work.
Mhm.
It's all working, it's coming together, but I'm
No,
surprised.
but I've also, the complaint was there was a bottleneck at
Yes.
Katie. Because when you come in and go through the motions of paying or whatever you do,
Absolutely.
everybody's lined up, and usually many people are coming late for their program, whatever it is, and they wanna hustle down to whatever they're supposed to be doing, and they can't because there's a line to get in.
So
So
there's
it's,
a request for a second kiosk.
yes,
To
yeah,
avoid that.
yeah. So, and then Meg told me that the instructors doing these programs don't wanna handle cash.
No,
Okay,
it
so,
shouldn't really.
And, you know, my concern here was, well, what do we do with the cash? Says, well, we have a safe. It says, but everybody has a combination to the safe. I said, so it's not safe.
That's why we're trying to go
Yeah.
cashless.
Right.
So, and it's making a big difference. There is a lot less cash.
The programs that I go to, they do not accept cash anymore.
Yeah.
They
We
have a
don't take
sign up
cash
sheet and it says what you're doing, but they don't, she will not take care.
Wow.
Exercise classes, yeah.
Yes, that's the, where we're going.
Yeah.
For meals though, they are. They take
I
care.
guess they
Yeah.
do.
Because I did have a couple of complaints from a couple of people that were indignant about being told how their money was to be spent. And so I went to Megan to see, and she said they can pay cash if they want to. They have every right to come and pay cash.
But the building was up.
Hot off the press.
Anything else for the director's report since she's not here?
They, are they playing the Father's Day, right? That's in June.
They say again?
Father's Day.
Yeah, well, there was something to do that in the police cookout. I mean, is that the same thing?
That's the same.
Do it.
Yeah, it's, well, the grill's on the other side. If they move it over, fine. I was hoping we'd have our meeting out here today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that David brought up, that with the slats on the pergola like it is, the shadows on the cobblestones make it so it's somewhat difficult to maneuver if you're sight impaired at all.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
it's just something to
Shadows.
consider, but we
Yeah.
talked about the covering
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Talked about it, but, anyway, I just wanted to relate that because, I do have difficulty sometimes. It forms
Well,
this.
Yeah,
crosshatch
yeah,
on
you're
the
not sure
ground.
where you're stepping if
And
you're,
it
yeah.
just gets a little confusing, so,
Mhm.
and I'm sure I'm not the only one
Yeah.
that
Right.
impaired vision.
Well, I took Megan out and showed her and she agreed where we need to do something.
Yeah,
But again, we're sort of on hold for the summer to see what we really need out there.
Yeah.
But no, it's a beautiful day to do that now.
So any updates from, friends?
No.
Well, let's get
We're
to the
just
subcommittee.
moving along. Oh, I
Let's-
know. we-
Hang on a sec, hang on a
I'm
second,
sorry.
let's just follow the agenda here. Okay, move on to the subcommittee reports. Bobby Sylvia's not here, so I know that the van is supposed to be en route somewhere.
So the director's report says it's already arrived.
Well, it arrived at the place
Quality
that's gotta
vehicle,
fix it,
yeah.
yeah, fix it up, so. And on the pergola, we're still standing down for the rest of the season, like to see what we need.
We are,
Looking at furniture. though.
we are busily investigating the furniture situation.
Okay,
Carly and I have been to a few places and had meetings with people. We are trying our best to make furniture appear there in time for this next weather we're having. So that remains to be seen whether it will happen or not. Purchasing process is unbelievable, but that's how it is. So we're.
just write it off as seatbelts for the van, something like that.
I'll call it whatever you want, but it's a process.
Now, are you planning something on casters, so it can be moved around?
No,
No, okay.
that presents a whole
Yeah.
mess in itself.
And they're bricks, so it wouldn't smoothly.
No.
But we are being cognizant of the weight of the furniture
Yeah.
so that it
Oh,
can be
yes.
easily picked up and moved around.
Right.
I don't know if any programs have moved out there yet. I mean, that was the intention.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any.
Yeah.
It's still very
Yeah,
cold.
It's still windy, it's still
Rainy.
unpredictable, so.
And the
They'll
rain.
turn like this, boys. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, any other subcommittees? I think that was it.
And once they decide on the programming, then we can decide on going to fall town meeting for electrics, electricity out there. We talked about putting out there.
Is that still $6,000?
It depends on what you want.
I don't think we've decided on how that's gonna be used exactly.
Yeah, how much power you need in.
Yeah.
there,
Right. There's no point putting up a big 220 panel up there.
Well,
They're gonna use
we know that
it.
we're blowing fuses in here, we're blowing circuit breakers here in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So, it may be, if there's a way we can benefit the building at the same time.
Yeah.
Might be good.
Well, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So,
What's blowing fuel?
Yeah, what's called?
I think the heaters,
The space
the
heaters.
space heaters.
Oh, the space.
Everybody had their own.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it was building, oh, it was awful.
Right.
We've been here, we've been here when we've had a go down.
Forever plugging a space heater, that's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
You need like a 15 amp dedicated line. for those things.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Okay, now liaison report, go right
The
ahead.
Friends. The Friends purchased, the the replacement for the ice machine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's
Right.
a kitchen contribution.
Yeah.
We are also, we've changed our birthday card format going forward after we have enough inventory. Probably through September, which it's presently a 9-step process to get this card out the door. So we're going to a postcard that will depict a photograph of, a cafe serving with the mug and delicious foods on the cover. And just, happy birthday. And if they present that, that will be their coupons for.
That's good.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah.
they will still get a gift. And we, we exist, we give money when we're asked for something that we find is pertinent for the, the welfare of the seniors, or happiness of the seniors. One of the topics that did come up that, was voted down because it really didn't generate a lot of happiness, we thought, or was fixing this island out here on Sawyer Street, which is really a bunch of weeds, a few yuccas and maybe an evergreen. But that didn't go over. So that was just too few people were interested in that.
Well, thanks for entertaining it. I understand Sue Espada has recruited somebody to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
yes.
I was just going to set up to do it.
Awesome. Great. Well, just so it looks, and there used to be the Boy Scouts used to have their sign on there.
Right.
I noticed a couple of weeks ago. it had been removed. So.
Well, I think any board members you have, should attend the
Cornhole,
poll.
yeah,
That'd be great.
next Monday at 5:30.
Yeah.
at the rec center.
Yeah, upstairs.
Yeah. Upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs.
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 Yeah, it's indoors, right?
Yeah.
How is it?
Did they burn some books? They got some room up there?
Nah, wide open. They had a big room up there.
You go in the back. and that?
It's in the back.
I think you go in the back.
Yeah, you go through the back
To the rec.
I know. In the rec and there.
Yeah, we went over there.
Well, here's your opportunity.
There you go.
I went over there when it was gonna be the senior center in the basement. I think you remember that?
Yes,
How many people are on your board?
we have 9,
Right, okay, big crew.
but they're not.
8 of them were Dan.
No.
Well, he's always good for conversation.
We're not like, they're not like, they're volunteers.
That was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
they're
not-
we have 9
We
volunteers.
all are.
Yeah.
And then the four whoever, I don't know.
I
So,
might tell Megan that, because it's friends of the library too. Yeah, she might.
Oh,
do
true.
some of that.
That's what I was saying. I thought they had 2 boards, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, after friends of friends.
Like I say, she's overwhelmed on a lot of this. I don't know why it started it.
I have 2 brand new totes of bean bags for cornhole.
Good,
Bring them in.
good,
And he can- I have a brand new set of bocce balls too, if you want those.
Ooh.
Because for Mother's Day, the gift was clean out the garage.
We will be happy to take
That's
take
all
charge
right.
of both of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, And, yeah, it was more painful than going to Lowe's and getting the gift card.
Yeah.
Well,
What's it
interesting, on
regarding?
bocce, what we've done is,
Hide.
we're running a lot more bocce than we have in the past. We're
Okay.
probably doing 12 hours a week now.
Yeah.
And what we've done is we've got a box outside, so we don't have to interrupt any programs going on in here to get our stuff. So we've got everything outside, so we can,
Well, bring the bench too, then, it has a seat that flips up and you put everything in it.
oh, that's good.
Waterproof.
No, I got one of those. That's what I mean. We've got, it's not a bench, but it's a box. It's waterproof. We put all,
Yeah.
David even puts his field spikes in there.
So what are your hours are you running now?
We run regular bocce, regular bocce is 1 to 4.
Thank you, Karen.
Actually,
Thank
1 to
you,
5 on
ladies, Karen.
Tuesdays and 1 to 4 Thursdays.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're running the classic bocce, which is from 11 to 1. So people can come and play real bocce and then at 1 o'clock, focus into the social time.
Okay, so I said, what kind of box do you play in the
Oh,
afternoon?
the afternoon is wide open.
It's just-
Yeah, afternoon is 300 people on
Yeah.
a 4-person team.
Yeah.
An awful lot of conversation, so you don't know when you're up, then you got some irate people saying, hey, you, get up, get up. Morning bocce is totally different, it's very serious, limited the amount of, certain amount of players, it's handicapped, so it's much more like a golf.
Aren't
situation.
they all?
And it's- Some come with handicaps, others we.
Any game I play.
Oh, yeah, that's going real well.
I just received some information from Megan James about Thursday. So she's gonna work with Nick to get an update from him of what they completed over the weekend.
Who's Nick?
He's in charge of facilities
Okay, okay.
for the town.
Uh-huh.
And so she's gonna have a meeting with him today to find out, are they finished? If not, when are they gonna finish? And she said they're not going to
No,
cancel the
they're-
community dinner. Okay.
They're not gonna do what?
They're not going to cancel the community dinner.
Community dinner.
So if they have to move some tables around, they will, but she said they're not canceling.
Yeah,
Good.
70 people have signed up.
Wow, I was gonna say,
70?
yeah.
It shows us the waiting list.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Who's going to do Liza's job? per se?
Mary Kay Rich.
Mary Kay's gonna do
I
it,
mean,
Yes,
it's
she
success.
but I'll get in touch with her. 'Cause if we've got 70 people, I run into a mess if you guys hold them too long.
I've been in touch with her about that.
Okay.
She is prepared to do what is needed to be done.
Okay, because I run into trouble.
Yes,
So many people
yeah.
out there.
Do you need a second person?
Yeah, you need a second person.
No, I don't need a second person, I just needed to be organized to know what time they can go in.
Uh-huh.
Actually, we've tried a second person, it's actually confusing.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't know the people and,
Yeah.
and whereas I can check them on fast because, I know.
Sure.
Institutional memory.
What do we
We have all
charge for
that.
that?
Yeah.
What do we charge?
It's,
Yeah,
$5.
That's
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
hell of a deal.
Can't we just let them in the room?
Well, Liza was always so strong about it. But that's Liza. I mean, it
Yeah.
might be that that's not necessary now, that, they can come in, check in and find themselves a seat.
Yeah, I mean, that makes
That makes
sense.
Yeah.
sense.
She was always very strong.
Yeah.
Everything had to be perfect before
Yeah.
she opened the door. In the meantime.
And you didn't cross her once.
It's a new era.
Yeah.
So that's good, thank you.
Yeah.
And Mary Kay's great, so.
She's the general we need.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything's set for the pool to open?
Pool is planning on opening Memorial Day.
Good.
They were up putting the final touches on it this past week.
And you've decided not to do pickleball up there, right?
We are not going.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Memorial Day, all right, great.
Are those tennis courts done?
Oh, the tennis courts?
Yeah, they said one of them was gonna be for pickleball.
No.
Ah, yeah, I thought that was a plan. Okay, anything at sixty L?
No, tomorrow's my last board meeting.
Ooh.
Congratulations, and thank you.
Wow.
What do you do with all your time?
Don't they need new HVAC over there? Well, hopefully this one lasts more than 10 years, huh?
Yeah, they do want me to still remain as their liaison to this board,
Okay,
so I'll come to find out what's going on then. So I'll have more of a report next month, I think. 23, you said.
I don't see Beth here.
So who's taking your place there? You know,
Bob Jackson,
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Bob Jackson, the police chief.
Okay.
Well, he's on the ballot,
oh, okay.
unopposed, I think he'll be elected.
he's the commander of the Legion.
Yeah. Yes. So he will definitely be representing the veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did I should. Our director did a housing workshop here. Last month, I guess, and there were 10 people came. A variety, some had already applied down there, some were interested in applying. Some were helping other people apply, so.
We still have the problem that the state has to
Yeah,
place people, right?
Yeah. But it was recorded, video recorded, so they, I noticed it was listed in the Vista last month, but maybe they showed it, I don't know. It's available to be shown again. You did it.
Candidates for people who want to live there,
Yes, how to apply,
how to apply.
yeah, and people had good questions, you know,
How many openings do you have?
that's hard to
Six.
say right now, I would say, yeah, 6 or 8. I know that they finally, see, I'm just reporting from last month, they finally did get, the vacancies they had, painted and refurbished so that they're available, but then they had 2 people who were moving. I mean, people who want to move within the place, who have a medical reason, like to move to the first floor, they get those go first, and then those 2, of course, have to be, we have to. So, I know that she was, planning to house 4 new people since the last meeting, and I won't know tomorrow whether that actually happened.
Has the state been able to reclassify facility as far as bungalows or studio?
Yes, it's been reclassified as studios.
Okay,
But yes and no. One of the people that was at the meeting last month said she had applied for a 1-bedroom. And she was pitched out at Cohasset's list because she they didn't have one bedroom, you know?
Oh,
And she didn't know that, you know, that they were calling it a studio now, so she'd go back in and reapply.
Yeah.
And then shifting a little bit now, Paul, to the Hull Street,
Habitat?
the Habitat. I understand one of the people dropped out. Have
Oh,
they picked up
okay.
another person?
As far as, tenants?
Yes,
That very well could be. They don't really tell us too much.
They're advertising it.
okay.
It's been in the Patriot Ledger.
Okay, yeah, they, it's a two-family home. And, so they had with a son there, we met a number of times. Committed to being there, and then there was another person. With no, I thought it was a single person that was moving into the other home. That's the last we heard of it, so.
Well, I heard somebody dropped out, so obviously.
Yeah. It's been, the last couple of weeks, it's been in.
And it,
And I know part of the ownership there, that if you buy the place, you've got to have sweat equity in building it. So that's obviously over with. So whether they have to do sweat equity at some other property, I don't know how that would work.
yeah, so I don't think that's a requirement for Habitat. But
Oh, it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it is.
Well, they volunteer so many hours, right?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
But not that particular.
Yeah,
Could be
could be.
any-
Yes, you can do it in the office.
Yeah.
And we don't have any other Habitat properties coming up, do we? In town?
There's a condo across from the police station.
Yeah.
Fire station.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
that's
not as a
open now?
project.
So,
but that's full.
It just
But-
changed hands.
Yeah, it's, I believe it's deed restricted.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Habitat originally did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old water department, building, it became 2 condos.
Yeah.
So the housing trust has been remodeling that. That's coming.
Yeah.
Unless it's already been taken, I don't know. The one on Hull Street, 2-family, they're supposed to do a groundbreaking, or not a groundbreaking, but a ribbon cutting ceremony in June. That's what they told us. They've had some turnover in personnel as well, so,
I could say.
yeah.
Marcia and I am, so our church committed to do a bill day on May 31st.
Yeah.
Which we know will be, near the end, but they said no, they would have work to do. So you've been involved.
Oh, yeah,
They have been so unresponsive to me.
yeah.
I'm ready to drop out.
We had similar.
Did you have similar thing? I mean,
You talking about Habitat?
Yeah,
yeah, Michael Ryan tried to volunteers in Habitat.
Yeah.
There were 2 dates originally available. I wrote in, we wanted May 3rd, wrote back, it's already been taken, but you can have May 31st. That's the last I heard. So I read the newsletter and I can't tell you how many times I've called and written. Said, how do we register? You have to register as a volunteer. How do we register?
Pay something?
Where do we send our money? We raised our money, where do we send our money? And I heard absolutely nothing.
yeah,
But I have 5 volunteers so far. We can have up to 10 if anybody wants to help. It's 8:30 to 3:30, but we have to you have to sign up 48 hours in advance, so.
And it's on the
It's-
31st.
Yeah. May
It's a
31st.
total of $500, right? For non-
Yeah.
right.
$500. Yeah. for nonprofit. So we've raised that. But I'm really getting frustrated now. So, try again today.
Yeah, we've had that kind of level of frustration.
Since the beginning. It's been and they did their first leading fundraising.
I don't know how they do it. They just,
You sign up.
they have so many large corporations that donate money per year that they're used to getting for projects, so seems like that, from our experience anyway, they're not as dependent on the community. They put the house in because of the larger donations from a lot of the large corporations. So when they come down to the wire, then they come out of the woodwork. So, okay, we're down to, we need to raise 75,000, 100,000. So, yeah, the turnover and personnel has been a little challenging, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Rich's wife is.
Yeah, she's not pleased either.
Yeah. Right. Well, we're on
You
together.
call it like it is, you know, so. It's spot on.
I tried to fill out the registration online myself to see what would happen, but it was rejected. Because it was only form was for an individual worker and I
That's
was
right.
trying to register for a bill day, so.
Yeah, we the same problem with St. Anthony's.
Yeah. Did they end up doing it?
Nope.
Nope.
They moved the age around, it was 16, that was
Now
18.
Right.
So,
Yes. Why are we bothering? I mean,
Yeah.
please take my money, please take it. That's,
Well, it's sort of, well, first of all, I used to be the ED of
Mhm.
South Shore Avenue. So, no, decades ago. And part of it is that shift of focus from a real heavy, and when I was there, it was a very heavy concentration on individual people coming.
Yeah.
In groups, but also it just plain individuals. And they've done this whole shift to corporations.
Yeah.
They really want the bigger chunks of money. The bigger corporate groups to come in and do, because we had our day shifted, canceled and then rescheduled because, and I can understand it, they had a company come in and do the framing. They were professionals.
Yeah.
And they volunteered their time and they came in and did it and they didn't want us in the way,
Yeah.
you know, it's got
Yeah,
to
right.
bang, 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 bang. I don't want us there. I get that, but I see a whole shift to away from individual volunteers, and that's really,
It's sad.
it is sad. you
They'll
know?
lose what they.
Well, because
started.
the other thing is that I think it really plants that family in the community when there's a lot of community,
Mhm.
individual people who have helped to build
Mhm.
that house, because I helped personally building the house on Elm, one across from the
Yeah.
fire station. Well, rehabbing it, it was
Yeah.
a structure that existed. Anyway, it is an unfortunate shift in their attitude, I guess, an approach to really being that individual community, volunteer friendly.
Well, thank you for that input anyway.
It's the world we live in,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
then they put up a fence around the gas station, so I'm curious to see what's.
Yeah.
yeah, I was wondering what's going on
I
there.
think they're gonna finally demo.
So someone purchased that property. Um,
Yeah,
from the original folks that put the plan together. And so what comes with the purchase of property is the actual plans for the 12 to 15 apartments or condos and retail down below, so.
Where is this?
The old gas station.
Gas station.
gorgeous gas station. in the building.
So,
Yeah, they go 30 parking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People really like it.
Yeah.
Parking there.
So I don't know what's happening, our next meeting in 2 weeks. We'll find out from the town planner.
Does that come, do you get any of the, is there anything set aside for, low income?
There is, our town bylaws mandated.
Okay, so it's four,
So if you have 4 more contiguous units, then percentage of them have to be deeded
or pay,
for affordable housing.
or make a Trump
There
Bitcoin or
is a,
something like that.
Yeah, there was a, in lieu of payment, the only one that used that was the Cohasset Harbor project. They put 4 affordable housing units down Cushing Street
Yeah,
rather than
okay.
Harbor.
Yeah.
And, everyone else has them on site. So. this one-
Where are we, I know we haven't talked about this in a long time, where are we as far as percentages? Are we still good in Cohasset?
So we're good until 2030,
Okay.
which is only in 5 years, last I checked your watch. So, it's coming fast, as I keep telling people, you know, we've looked at other property around the town and people got their feathers up and I got a call from my neighbors. Saying, hey, why are you looking at this? And so, already got a few of those calls, but. Yeah.
Was that Slezzo's properties over at the Stop and Shop Icon Plaza? What's with those? Because they're not all filled, certainly.
MCI Cohasset, right?
Yeah.
So, all of the-
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, he,
It's a grim looking building.
he
It
volunteered
is.
to deed restrict, additional units, so now I think there's like 6 over there
Yeah, I think that's right. And they are filled.
They're building.
Oh, well, if those, what about the rest of the
No,
property?
they're all,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All the people ones, okay.
I believe so.
And down below?
No.
No, that's not.
That's the retail side.
Yeah,
Partially.
It's partially.
yeah.
Not full though.
Is that where the new pizza shop is going in?
He's up.
No,
No.
The old Chinese
French
restaurant.
fry.
Oh,
Yeah, and then the other. There's a new
there's a
Asian
new little
going
Asian.
in. It's
That's the
just
former chef and business partner
Feng Shui.
from Feng Shui. They
It
opened
is?
next door, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I was so bummed when they closed.
As it turned out, the majority of the business was takeout.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So now they're. So what they're gonna have is, you'll be able to have,
Just Sandwich shop,
20
you
people
know, no,
seated.
it's a little.
Oh, yeah.
sandwich
Yeah.
shop, cheaply.
Are they open yet?
Still,
Not yet,
and the
they're
nail
supposed to
ones.
open February, March.
And the end king, there's a sign.
Oh, I'm so.
And then there's a breakfast
I hear
place
that
opening.
there's-
There's actually Papagino's.
breakfast, yeah, breakfast place.
Sam's, Sammy G's.
Yeah.
Is it in yet?
No, but it's supposedly 2 weeks.
Is it, is
It's
that,
for the
in-
Papagino's. I just saw it
it's
on
in
Facebook.
Papagino's?
I don't know, that's.
Okay.
Well, Matt Nation's in
The what?
there.
Matt
Matt Nation's in
Nation.
there.
Well, maybe this place is going in
No,
there.
Magnesium is where King's was, or.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, a little farther, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is going where Papagino's is, yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
Which
breakfast.
is further
breakfast
down the
and
road. Yeah.
Yeah.
lunch. Yeah, breakfast and lunch.
And Sammy's like the people who are in Situate Harbor?
No, that's
Oh,
Sam's.
that's Sam's.
This is
Yeah.
from Ron.
Okay.
People are raving about it.
Oh, look at the menu. Look.
This is worth coming to these meetings just to get this.
I know.
Yes, this is
You finally get around to it.
I can't get drop egg anywhere.
Oh.
Come to my house.
Stars has a corned beef and hash, I like it.
Oh, yeah, me too. I like that. Yeah. Well, this place is gonna have not corned beef and hash, it's gonna be brisket hash.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I've never
that's,
had that.
oh, that's very good.
Same animal without
Yeah.
sauce.
So that's coming, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, have we beaten the liaison reports to death?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to first nominations for board chair. Every year we have to have an election, which will be in June, for the board chair. Before we get into that, are you gonna continue as treasurer and you as secretary? Are you
If the
comfortable with
board
that?
so decides, I will, yeah. If anybody else is interested. Yeah, but if anybody else is interested, I would be happy to pass it out.
And vice
But
chair.
it's good.
No, the vice chair is picked by the chair. Whoever the chair is, picks whoever the vice chair is. Okay.
So I'd
Um,
like to step down.
You want to step down? Okay, so we
Please.
put that down. Okay, so secretary,
Secretary.
It's killing me.
chairman.
You'd have to
and
get another job, Ellen.
And treasurer, you're gonna say. Great. By the way, we'd like you both to stay. Okay, so for the nomination of chair, what I'm gonna do is ask for nominations 3 times for chair. And you don't need to second a nomination, so a nomination stands on itself. If you're nominated, I ask you to advise us, do you accept the nomination? And if in fact you are elected, will you serve as chairman for a year? Everybody okay?
And then next month you vote on those.
Well, we have nominations today.
Yeah.
We'll do the same thing next meeting, and then after the nominations, next meeting, we'll have an election. Okay, and so if you could keep track of any nominees. So, first time through, any nominations for chair of the Elder Affairs Board of Directors?
I'd like to nominate Jim.
Talk to him, my friend.
Jim nominate him.
Jim, do you accept the nomination?
Reluctant as I am,
Come on,
I acknowledge the shared responsibility we all have to do this job. So yes,
And would you serve if you're elected?
well, wouldn't that be silly?
Part of the
Yeah.
questions.
We'll rate the service for you.
Yeah.
Any other nominations for chair? Any other nominations for chair? Okay. So we'll see you next month. We'll do this all again.
So we'll have to, find a secretary next month.
Well, let me do that now. Do we have any nominations for secretary?
Somebody wants to think about it.
Any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations for secretary?
So who's missing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That business, eh?
Yeah. she-
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Beth's not there. Beth is not here.
All right, good. Well, we'll pick this up again in June.
On this schedule, then, we won't have an officer in place until August.
No,
You
July.
No,
July.
July.
August is the
In
month
July.
we take.
Oh, we don't need it.
We take a vote,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
and then we
the
come back
office
to
starts in
remember in
July.
September.
Maybe.
Gives the new chairman a
Do you have to
chance
be
to
a
grab
full
some money and
member?
have a vacation.
Yes, yes.
You have to be a full member.
Member in order to vote, so you have.
No,
Yeah,
you
you
have to be secretary.
No, any member can nominate,
Yes.
but you have to be a full member to serve.
Or to vote. Is that true?
Or to vote.
To vote on the.
On the poll. I believe so, yes.
You have to be a voting member to be secretary,
Yeah.
treasurer,
Yeah.
vice chair,
But as far as voting on the election, that's a good question.
only voting member,
Only voting members.
only voting member.
Everybody can nominate, but only voting
Bylaws
members
can
can vote.
vote members.
I'll email you the bylaws.
Okay,
Probably know that.
do we have any general comments that we haven't already talked about? On the board?
I have had two comments and a phone call for people on how pleased everybody is with how things are running here and how friendly everybody is. And especially in the health services, we can call to ask, you know, where can I do this? How can I do that, et cetera. So that's a feather in the cap of staff here, and I think it's great.
Just have Memorial Day weekend coming up, you have veterans events,
Typical.
Poppy volunteers and all that.
Yeah, I'm pretty loaded there. Both Marcia and Beth are involved in that. We're probably gonna limit the scope this year, just because the Poppy chairman is a little scattered, so. Having said that, so, you know, wide ideas, let's go here, let's go there. Going here, we're going Shaw's, we're going Curtis Liquor. Curtis Liquor is the biggest moneymaker in it.
Yeah, did that one year.
So. But no, that'll be the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday before Memorial Day. Then Memorial Day is pretty much the standard fare, run by the Legion, and Phil. Phil is also doing a speech here on
Next Monday.
Monday, yeah, he's doing a speech next Monday. I talked to him last week and he didn't realize he was doing a speech, so. So hopefully now he's writing
Is that
it.
the community veterans?
No.
No, it's just a one-off,
Oh, okay,
yeah, so.
because I get the emails from the guy in Hull for the veterans
Oh, yeah.
copies.
Yeah, no, he's doing a speech here, you know, like an author's,
What's his
Talk, yeah.
topic? What's he doing?
veterans, I don't know.
Just for general community information?
Yes, I think so, yeah. He didn't know either, so we'll see what happens. I won't be here, but, also, I'm doing, filming now a little bit for, 143 TV again, I'm back on that. I'm doing some more there. I was gonna film, Phil's talk, but I gotta be out of town that day.
Oh, I know, it's right, it's like at the end of the coffee hour.
At 10:30.
Yeah, 10:30.
Ah.
Yeah, so he's hoping he gets.
An
He's out of
effective
the.
audience.
A week audience,
Yeah.
after the coffee.
He will have had enough coffee.
So tell me afterwards what he was talking about, because he didn't know yet. Well, we shall see. I'm also probably giving a speech on Memorial Day, but that's, we don't want to do that. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll accept the motion.
Adjourn.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See you in June.
I have, now that we've closed the meeting, I would just like to make my personal recommendation for the planning board election. One of the only two contested seats of the town, but a good friend of mine, Birgit Kent, is right now an associate member of the planning board. she's running for full position on the planning board,
Your name again?
Birgit Schmidt.
Uh-huh.
So she's been an associate member for a year and you know, she said, honestly, it was a lot, it's been a huge learning curve on the planning board, but she's very dedicated to it and very much in favor of, trying to preserve Cohasset as it is. They moved here from away and been here about 10 years. I love the town.
Yeah.
And, her opponent is the developer of Atlantica, Denunio. And as she said to me, you know, I don't think we need a developer on the planning board, and I absolutely agree with her. It's like the wolf in the chicken coop, and
Yeah.
I'm not offending anybody, but please.
Yeah.
That's-
Okay.
Just
Oh, yeah,
seems
we
like
have,
a
we have her
conflict of
sign up.
interest.
But of course, it's not gonna say that on the ballot. Forget W. Wetzel's like, you know, it's a hyphenated name, it's Schmidt. She's the second name. The other one is,
So this is next Saturday.
yeah, next Saturday.
Yeah.
Planning
Saturday,
board, yeah.
Yeah, if you are going to vote, Bill McGowan forgot to turn his papers in for sewer commissioner.
Oh, boy.
So-
After writing.
If you could write him in for the 3-year term. And then Wayne Sawchuck's seat is vacant. So that's a 1-year term. So Brand Collins is asking him for a 1-year term.
It's gonna be tough.
That's the excitement there. And, tonight we have a citizen's petition. Does not pass sewer. On Amherst Lane and 228.
Why is that a bad idea?
So it's a private developer who's putting up 4 homes and, yeah, so he bought 2 lots and one of them is in the sewer district, so it was approved for 2 houses to be built and put in on sewer. The other 2 are not in the sewer district. So, he went to the town of Hingham to say, hey, I want my house put in the sewer district. Hingham's Cisco Acid, so we have to ask. But, all of those properties are not in the sewer district, so. Voted against putting them in the, expanding the sewer district. So if we expand it for 1, you've got to expand it.
Yeah.
And isn't there a plan
You can't,
where we're supposed to go next with sewer?
So,
if we
yeah,
do-
someone should turn this on.
Yeah, we're on.
You know,
Yeah, there's a-
so this is kind of sidestep that.
I don't know if that does it.
there's a regional sewer plan, but it's the town's gonna spend $100,000.
Again.
Again, we just attended a meeting with Bo last week. So the 3 towns, Situate, Hall, and I said, getting together for the regional sewer plan, which, you know, that would change the scope of things. That's a 3-year study, and then we told them we're not spending $35 million and like pipe down 3A. We're sure that it'd be native by the sea at the end of the year. You know, so, we agreed that we would go probably South Main is what we talked to Situate about. They have kind of a Band-Aid to solve their problem in North Situate already,
Yeah.
so if it doesn't go through, it doesn't go through, but. Yeah, that's the issue there. So Hingham, there's a common sewer line that runs down 228. Hingham and Cohasset have an agreement with the town of Hull. Mutual sewer to go to Hull. We have minimum capacities that we pump to Hull. So that's how that fits in there. Their pricing is at least 40% higher. So we pumped up all we actually. We charge everyone in the town of Cohasset the same rate. Then we'll charge you, it's a higher rate than what we send. So. I said, the study's great, but if it doesn't help us budget wise, it doesn't make any sense, you know, so it's, they don't talk about money, but that's the main focus that we have. Is we can't expand sewer to the extent that we have reserves. For sewer. And then if we decide to do the regional, then we have our plant, which has its regular capacity, that gives us the ability to pump to Hull and lower our capacity limit. In the event of a storm, the state requires, the federal government requires you reserve 20% of your capacity at all times, in case there's a storm. So,
Well, it's funny because I went to that program a couple of weeks ago where they were talking about the flood increase and what have you, the ocean coming higher and higher. And apparently we're set, the harbor's set for 8 feet now for protection. They want to go to 13 feet.
Yeah.
So that's a monumental deal. I mean, the big thing was the sewage treatment.
you know, we already paid for 2 studies so far. And, just waiting for results, but.
This is literally complicated shit.
Yeah.
Well, after that meeting, I realized I may be sitting on oceanfront property.
When they peel the onion, the fact that, you know, if they built the Taj Mahal tour plans, if they anticipated high participation in the South Shore, which they didn't get. And so now every resident is on sewer and Hull. And you can't keep raising their sewer rates that cover the expenses of the Taj Mahal before somebody just screams. And they're kind of there. So they need customers. So they're dying for us to pump more there, and Situate is begging to get theirs, you know, over to Hull. And
They have to come through us.
capacity, you know, there's gotta be something in it for us. I mean, there's gotta be, you know, it's got wear and tear on the pipes, you know, it's like. My son said, Dad, I'll borrow your car before I put gas in. I'm like, yeah, but what about the tires? What about the oil change? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's one of those situations that we're trying to work out. It's doable, but you know, it's just gonna matter of, like you said, it's a little complex. But
That's what I did.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, you know, people don't pay attention, then next thing you know, you're gonna have to look by the sea.
We done here?
I think, yeah.
Can't talk about it in a public meeting, so.
Yeah, breaks it up.
So, hey, all right. Yeah, so.
Yeah, the League of Women voted today. Can be nice.
I don't know how to start this going.
Yeah. Does this have something to do with it?
Look,
Yeah.
Well, that's probably good.
Just to connect.
I make.
Yeah, just, thank you.
That was the rule.
ready to leave the church.
I'm not gonna wait for that.
Well, that's the way it is. It's 60
Way it
hours.
is,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess I'll.
Oh, a week.
Yes, yes, you don't.
Video.
Oh, I'm imagining.
Yeah, well, I have to hit the road.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna be on that board.
So I'll miss the class.
Well, Eleanor, thank
But
you
I
so
did
much
my
for
thing.
sitting
but I
here.
don't have that.
Yes, so many years.
Oh,
So you'll find that out today. Let me know. Oh, tomorrow's a clam chowder. Clam chowder from your friends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
We tried it. Yeah. Yes.
Are we being recorded still? I think so.
Plugged everything, so I
Oh,
don't,
you did? Okay.
just don't swear.
Yeah.
Right. Is there anything? Do you know how to operate? I don't.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
Oh, it's just the mouse, yeah.
But he did unplug it from that, so I'm assuming it's not even.
But that's just the mouse.
Oh, yeah.
Turned off. I don't know. So.
When was the,
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
He hit end and leave.